Okay, because I want also the people that are at home to, although they can't see all of us, but I want them to know how we start this call and the game we play when we are here. Hello, Madeleine. Ciao. Good to see you. Maria Giulia, I really honor your commitment to check in, even on the train. Brilliant. I love it.
And Valentina, you asked me to remind you that I asked last time to ask for the meaning of Tantra. So I'm reminding you.
Okay, thank you. I remembered. When I saw you, I remembered. So we'll get there in a moment. So I want to start with the little game, if you want to call it as such. For me, it's actually a meditation where we take time to look at each other. You all know how to pin each other's face, yeah? On the top right of the screen, there are 3 dots, and if you click there, there is pin, and then you can pin a person, and then you remove the pin and pin another person. We take about 4 minutes. I found a song that speaks about the dark thoughts. So I thought that today, when you look at someone else, see their darkness. See if we can do this, because I want to put this spiritual practice into the context of life. That spiritual is not about being in the light only, but is about bringing the shadow into the light, which means not to transform it and to make it better and to make it right and nice. No. It means to bring your eyes onto the darkness, to see it, to invite it, to welcome it, that we only know the light in virtue of the darkness. So this dance with polarity is really important. And we all have our secret, right? And we all have the things we are ashamed of, that we don't want to share with anybody. Well, guess what? The other can see it. So now, when we look at each other, take a moment to see if you can see their secret, if you can see their dark side that they don't want to share with anybody. And if you know it in yourself, you can find it in the other. And I want to invite everybody's camera is on. I would love for you to stay with your camera on. Even if you're doing things, if you're cooking your meals, it's fine. It's just a gesture to say, hey, I'm here and I'm fully committed to be here. I'm not half in and half out. So let's go. And if you are listening to this as a recording, you just take a moment to close your eyes and to sit with your own darkness, your own secret, the things you don't particularly honor about yourself, the things you wish would be different. Sit with that and meditate that aspect of yourself for just 4 minutes. Invite it to this practice today.
When you witness a dark thought that isn't going to get you anywhere, you witness it and love it. You love your dark thoughts.
So take your time to really look at this other human being, look at their face, the landscape of the embodiment, and look with compassion through them, into them, the things they're hiding.
The witness is part of the soul, and the soul loves everything. Everything, not every being, but everything, loves the clouds, trees and the fish and the animals. And that love coalesces the universe. The oneness of the universe is love.
Remember to breathe, everybody.
The oneness of the universe is love.
Everybody close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Sigh your exhale. And allow for a moment the images of the other people to impress you from inside, to leave the imprint. And for me, I've learned that the only way to be really compassionate with other human beings, with humanity, is to recognize the darkness inside of me, that I have it, that I want to protect my secret, and I am ashamed of certain aspect of my being. And if I recognize this in me, I can be available for the others, and I can see it in others and accept them with all that they are, that they don't have to hide anything in my presence. So, I want to start this session today answering some questions. Maybe it's going to give us some context for today. So I just want to start with a question that came to me via an email, and so this is valid for anybody that is also listening to the recording. We've got as many people not showing up. We've got about 30 people sign up, maybe even a little bit more. So the question says, I tend to get quite intoxicated in movement practices like this one, and generally find it challenging to stand up. So I don't, and that's fine. But I would like any tips or insight that might be supportive. Thank you, Jen. So I want to tell Jen to not allow your spiritual practice to overwhelm you, that you're not able to operate in the world. Because the real spiritual practice is living your life. It's being present in the living texture of reality. And if the spiritual practice doesn't allow me to be present in my life, then it's not sustainable and is not helping. And then we compartmentalize when we do spiritual life and when we do real life. We call it, we do the real life. No. Make your life real that includes your spiritual practice. and the expansion of your spiritual practice become your life. That your spiritual practice needs to respond to your need in life. That's why I love the Tandava, because we can overlay it to the crisis in life and look at the map of the Tandava. Can I be flexible when the contraction of life come in? So I remember to breathe, to relax my spine, to undulate, to breathe with my heart, to include my whole body into the experience. And so in the context of the Tandava, if you're experiencing overwhelm, open your eyes and see where you are. You're right here. Here's the room. This is your house. You're right here. Don't go places. Because if you become habituated to go places in order to manage your life, you disembody it. And you abandon your body that is so needed to live your life. So in the Tandava, if you can't stand up because you feel overwhelmed, maybe the first few times this happens, because it brings so much expansion, and the body, the nervous system is resetting, and maybe there is a bit of quivering, and you're feeling full. It's okay, maybe 1, twice, 3 times. But then don't let that become your measuring that how deep you go. You go deep when you disembody. Because in many practice this become the standard. That only if I shake and my eyes roll back, oh, I got somewhere. This is my spiritual practice. No, your spiritual practice, if it can help you to stay with your eyes open, quiet and present in the middle of the storm, or the big event of your life, that you can breathe, that you can make good choices, fully here, aware. So, if in the Tandava you experience this overwhelm, open your eyes, come back here, bring your hand down, stop, take a couple of breaths, and then begin again. And to particularly Jen that asked the question, my suggestion is, do try to stand, exactly because you find it difficult. That's your edge. So slowly, stand next to a table. You can hold on to a table. And so you start to stand up and feel your feet, ground into your feet. When you feel stable enough, you can let go from the table, so that you start entering the aliveness of this practice, that you don't put it into under a glass jar that you need to protect it. If you need to protect heightened state of bliss or expansion, then they're not real. Because the truth, you don't need to protect it. If you think that with your ego you need to protect the spiritual expansion, it's not a real spiritual expansion, it's a bypass. You're leaving your body actually. You're going somewhere else. And those are dangerous places, because then there is a lot of work that needs to happen to get you back here. So it's a fine line. You're going to have to feel it for yourself. Learn to feel the expansion and be here. Use your breath to be here. Use your genitals to be here. Your genitals are at the base of your seat. They ground you. They are about life and dying. And they are really at the base of your embodiment. So check in with your genital. Breathe with your genital. Come back into the building blocks of your living existence. And from your genital, your belly, your heart, so that you don't become overwhelmed by the practice. And then you end up to abandon the practice because it's stretching you too far. Don't do that. Because this is a practice that can carry you for the rest of your life. And I would like you to start to have a beautiful relationship. Last week I spoke a lot about building a relationship with the Tandava. So it's like if you're in a relationship with someone that overwhelms you, well, you have to look into that and maybe give a little bit less of yourself and take more care of how you enter this relationship. Maybe you're giving too much. Why do you think you have to give it all at the beginning? Everything is already here. You don't have to give. Come back to yourself and be with the cell in your body, with your bone structure, with your muscle, and befriend your body as your first relationship before you give it all to something else and someone else. There is nothing else, actually. That's what the Tandava is teaching us. There is nothing else than your body right here. So there's nowhere else to go. When we think, oh, I went places, it's an illusion. Where do you go? You only have this body and this present moment right now. So enter this present moment, and the moment can expand and include past, present, and future, but is right here, right now. So this is first question. And the second question is for you. Where are you on the train? Maria Giulia. What is the meaning of Tantra? So one of my teachers always says that Tantra is the journey back into yourself, which basically resumes everything I just said. So you don't have to look for too articulated meaning to make it intellectual, because we come from a culture that if we use a lot of words and we make it so academic, we believe is more valid. And the Tandava, it's one of these practices that brings Tantra in the reality of your flesh and your bones. So keep it simple. This is my suggestion. Tantra is this longing. Sometimes if you all are here, you have an attraction to Tantra. And so keep asking the question, what is exactly Tantra, is what's going to take you to the Tantra. And then you're going to tell me, what is Tantra for you? It's your journey. And sometimes, you know, when a teacher gives a description, we tend to then move our practice to match that description. Instead of being in the practice as it arises in me, in the intimacy of my being. We want to meet, it's a goal. It needs to be like that, because the teachers say that is the true peace, the pearl. And so in the tradition of Tantra, actually, they prefer that the teacher don't teach from the personal experience of enlightenment, but they teach according to the text, like how the steps into awakening, which are generally equal for every human being. Because if a teacher gives too much of their personal interpretation, then there is the risk to jinx your practice to match their journey. And we all going to have a different journey into the Tantra, into your own awakening. And that's the beautiful uniqueness of this journey. But I also want to give you like a little insight in the wording. Tantra is the same root of Tandava. Tan, it's the root word for tension. And I spoke this last week, the tension between polarity, which is a dynamic tension. It's not a rigid tension that can break. It's a very dynamic tension between the tre, the number 3. Are you Italian, Maria Giulia? Yes, me too. So the number 3, Tantra. Tra, it's the root word for 3, for triangle, for also number 3 in English. Is it the same in English? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, very similar. And so the triangle is a very powerful shape that you find in every esoteric culture of the world. Every spiritual practice has a triangle of some sort. Christianity, Kabbalah, all of it. And basically, it's at the bottom of the triangle is the tension of the polarity. And at the top is the third point that leave the tension as a witness of the tensions, of the tension, as the not the transformation, I have to be careful here with word, as the integration of the tension of the two, and also enjoys it. So the third point is the witness that births the polarity and find itself again through the polarity. This is a very important point to understand in Tantra. When we speak about the witness, is never someone separated from the experience that is happening. It is also creating the experience that is happening for its own enjoyment, its own pleasure. Consciousness is creating the world of manifestation, the world of polarity, to expand itself, to know itself, and to evolve, to be more. So the witness is never separated from the experience. It's a dynamic witness. This is really important because it puts Tantra in a very different place from a lot of other spiritual currents, like Buddhism, for example, where the witness is removed from the desire of life. In Tantra, we are right in the desires of life. So this point of witness births the polarity. Remember this. And we say births, or we can even say it's not so correct, because in birthing we think there is another thing that is birthed, the baby separated from me, which is also not true, because our DNA, it's impressed in the baby. And so in the same way, in the Tantra, we know that everything is Shiva. So everything in the polarity of the world has the essence of the creator. It's within it. There is no creator and creation. The creator is the creation. So the witness is the polarity also. Shiva is in the polarity. Shiva is in your dark thoughts, in your fears. That's also Shiva. In the war, in the abuse that are happening in the world, that is also Shiva dancing this reality. So this is a very hard concept to land in the body. So I'm just going to leave it there. You're going to have to find your way, and the Tandava helps with the ondulation. Because this is how the tantric teaching are very clearly expressed, and this is what makes Tantra really unique. And so one of my teachers always bring this example of if there is this game that we do for balance, children do it, where you have a plank of wood balancing on a cylinder. And in each edge of the plank is the polarity of life, the extreme polarity. On the very edge is the extreme polarity. So the Buddhist would sit itself into the center and avoid the polarity and find balance in avoiding the polarity. And I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm not comparing spiritual tradition. This is really not my place to do that. It's a way, and it works for many. In the Tantra, we put a foot. You imagine yourself with the foot in each polarity on the end of this plank, dancing and finding your own balance and being swayed, sometimes a little bit more this way, oh my God, a little bit more that way. And then when you master the Tandava, you'll be just effortlessly, gracefully dancing, and you create beauty and harmony out of this struggle, of the apparent struggle. So that's the Tantrika. That's how you can imagine yourself when you call yourself a Tantrika. This is the dance. So I just want to check with who's here right now. If you also had any question from last week, if you've done the practice again, anything that it's really alive for you right now, that your mind is busy with, so we can maybe put the mind at ease a little bit, I invite you. Okay, no question. So I have an invitation for everybody here, men and women. So one thing that also it's very beautiful in the tantric tradition, that a lot of the meditation that we are doing tend to be pretty androgynous. So we also want to have this very harmonized dance between the polarity of being a man and a woman, of being in a male body and in the female body. Regardless of your sexual tendency, the bodies are really different. They are in a polarity. One penetrates and one opens to be penetrated. And so in the practices, we want to find the places where we recognize the masculine body present within the feminine body, and the feminine body present within the male body. And some of the teachers that I love in my years of sitting with them are very androgynous. The women are quite masculine and the men are quite feminine. And so today I want to invite everybody to enter a masculine practice of imagine that you have a lingam. If you're a woman and you don't have one, you can just imagine it. And if you're a man, that you have one and your lingam is on the outside of your body. You can touch it, you can see it, you can feel that is an expression of your body going outward into the world, penetrating reality, penetrating your life, penetrating the matter of the world. And for this practice today, I want to invite you to imagine that this lingam is inside your body. And that if you have a yoni, maybe you can easily imagine this when you can associate this to your experience of being penetrated. And if you're a man, you just really have to imagine this, that this lingam enters your body and rise all the way to the level of your heart and penetrate your heart. And so I often speak about ejaculation when I work with men, in particularly, because I don't like to speak about semen retention and ejaculate control, because these are words that for me stifle the experience of expansion. We don't want to control our sexual energy. We don't want to objectify it and use it for any gains that we think we have, even to become more intelligent or get more power in the world. And a lot of tantric practice are going in that direction. And I'm not judging them again, this is the other, but for me, and now you're here with me, I want to invite you to really marry your sexuality as something much bigger than you, greater, is the movement of reality. And let it move you, so that you're not controlling your sexuality in order to gain anything, but we are in humble devotion to our sexuality as the movement of the mystery of creation. And is a big force, and sometimes throw us in the fire, sometimes take us in heaven, and sometimes brings sadness, sometimes brings excruciating joy, all of it. It's a mystery. And if we think we are on top of it, we find ourselves at the bottom again. So the way we approach sexuality in this current of Tantra, that we do it with absolute devotion, we bow to this force. And so when we bow, we put the head down first. The head, it's lower than my sex, than my hips. It means that I put my brain at rest for a moment and I offer my body to this experience we call sexuality. And I'm going to observe, I'm going to become intimate with it, and I'm going to observe how it moves me so that maybe I can learn something from it instead of deciding that I already know things about it. And so ejaculate control become a control over a movement that wants to express spontaneously outward. And the lingam of man is an expression of the heart of this man out into the world. And so I never invite men to control this. And so I call this different experience ejaculation, where the man can imagine, and right now we can all do this, imagine this lingam coming inside your own body and offering its juice, its expression to your own heart, into your own heart. So as if you're ejaculating into the heart. And so in sexuality, it requires a lot of relaxation rather than control, to let go of the desire to contract around pleasure and squeeze out our juices. And women, we do the same with our orgasm. We contract and we come. And so some of us, this is generally clitoral orgasm, and some of women, if some of you here have experienced the experience of female ejaculation, this actually often happen if you can relax enough. So it really has this essence. When you really relax in this heightened state of sensitivity, when the G-spot is stimulated, the female body can release Amrita in virtual relaxation. So let's explore this together in your own experience, with your own sexuality, in this sensual practice that is the Tandava, by imagining a lingam moving inside, even for the women. And so we're giving some devotion to the masculine force that presents itself in naked awareness with no agenda, just the desire to stay awake and alerted as we are present with the sexual movement. And this goes again for the first question I answered today. If we get overwhelmed, let's stay aware of what's happening in the body. Observe your bone, your muscle, the temperature in your body. And so let yourself be penetrated by this experience as we're moving through. So I'm going to play some music, and we start off right with this. So find a sitting position that is comfortable for you, that allows for your spine to be free. If you can, again, if you have pain, if you have injury, if you're really, really tired and you need to lie down or lean onto something, you do that. And then ask your body, are you really comfortable? Don't tell your body, this is a comfortable position. Check in, is the body comfortable? And do what you need to enhance your comfort. And then invite your breath. Close your eyes and start to become really intimate with what's happening inside of you. Exhale with a sigh. When you exhale with a sigh, you allow your lips to slightly part and soften. And when we do this, the jaw relaxes. When the jaw relaxes, the tongue relaxes. So see if you can relax the back part of your tongue where it meets your throat. And if you do that properly, your tongue will be visible. It will stick a little bit out of your mouth like a sleeping cat. And you know, if you master this, that immediately the mind empty. This is really beautiful, this connection of the tongue relaxing, the mind empty, the back of the neck relax, the shoulder drop. When the shoulder drop, the weight start to penetrate the base of your body, meeting your pelvis floor. So breathe into your pelvic floor. Relax your anus. Let go of any intrinsic tension. Really relax from the inside out. The mouth open, the anus relax. You can breathe from your anus. It's an opening. We're opening the portals for reality to penetrate my body in this moment through my breathing. So that this doesn't become a spiritual fantasy, but is a reality in your body. Through your breath, this moment is penetrating you. And if you want, you can imagine a mouth inside every single cell on the skin of your body. And every single cell is a mouth that breathes. Your whole body is breathing. And I hope you're making some sounds with your own breath. I can't hear you, but I hope you can hear yourself. And in hearing yourself, you receive yourself. And you let the sound of your own exhale soften you. Like when we make love with another and we receive their breath, and it's so softening and intimate and arousing. So make it the same for the sound of your own breath. You meeting this beloved. And feel free to make sounds of pleasure. Sound of deep relaxation or sound of pleasure. The pleasure of being with yourself. And we use this word when we masturbate. We also say we're self-pleasuring, right? So what we are saying, that is a pleasure to meet the self. Self-pleasuring. The pleasure to be with self, with myself. It's a pleasure to drop in with the essence of myself. So let this pleasure ripple down your spine with every exhale and allow your spine to become activated, allowing the spaces in between your vertebrae to breathe also. Exhale. With every exhale, you drop into more space into your body. And we allowing the spaciousness of the body to be here, more space. We're preparing for the penetration. We have to create space. Every single cell in your body, it's full of empty space that breathes with you. Every organs in your body, it's filled with cells that are intrinsically empty, breathing this moment with you. Every cell in your bone, even if the bone looks rigid, appears rigid, it's not. Actually, it's really empty, because every cell that creates your bone structure is intrinsically full of emptiness, the void. Breathing with you into the void. And so invite the cosmos to penetrate you with every breath. Invite the cosmos to penetrate you with more space, with infinite, vast space. Relax your genitals. Relax your scrotum, the skin of your scrotum. Really relax. Breathe into your scrotum. And if you have a yoni, relax the outer labia. Same skin. And don't go into technique. Don't try to be clever about it. Just imagine it. Visualize it. With the eyes of your awareness. With your closed eyes, you're traveling through the body into the base of your body, sitting, the genitals. And from there you relax. You breathe from inside out. Relax your lingam, your clitoris, and just be really present with the wisdom of your sex for a few minutes. Just you breathing into the wisdom of your sex. Relaxing. There is nothing you have to do. Just receive. Be available to receive. Undulate the spine so you support the receptiveness of your body. And don't forget to invite your heart to breathe together with your genitals. Red, throbbing heart. Red, throbbing sex. Red, throbbing tongue. See if you can merge the awareness of these three places in your body. Your tongue licking your heart pulsating your sex, your sex swallowed by your mouth, your mouth kissing your sex with every breath, your mouth kissing your heart kissing your sex. Your sex inviting the heart to rest in the relaxation of your genitals. And then visualize a lingam entering the base of your body, penetrating your sexual area with light, luminous awareness. Lingam means wands of light. Luminous awareness slowly, slowly making its way inside your undulating body. And you can accompany this movement with the slow rising of your arms. Your hand can start floating off your lap. Really slowly, slowly moving as you raise this luminous awareness into the body. Your hands are raising into space. Relax your lips, your mouth, your tongue. And when your hand comes at the level of your heart, visualize this luminous awareness inside your body, penetrating the heart, piercing the heart with unwavering presence. Be completely taken by this moment of merging. Bring the eyes of your awareness in this place in your body, in your heart center, where this penetration is taking place, and use the waving of your arm to help you expand your heart in all directions, backwards, sidewards, upward, downwards, like the passionate heart of Jesus, the heart that is inflamed by the meeting with pure awareness and has beams directing in all directions. This is it. This is the passion of the Christ. Meeting erotic awareness and the heart of wisdom and compassion. And we're gonna leave this explosion into the heart. We're not gonna move it. We're just gonna stay here, the connection of this luminous cosmic lingam penetrating your human heart. And you can visualize the energy of the expanded heart traveling through your shoulder, arms, wrists, into your hand, and bringing luminosity to the tip of your finger like laser beam, stroking reality. If this is overwhelming for you at any moment, just open your eyes and keep on moving. And just anchor yourself in this moment, in this room. Sense the back of the body, the back of the heart. If the sensations are overwhelming, put them in the back of your heart. The back of your heart is really deep and can contain a lot. We're so used to operate in the world with the front of the heart. The back of the heart is deep and profound, has profundity, like the ocean profound. The wave of the ocean moves like the wave of the heart. But in the deep, there is profundity, the profound space of the heart. And let your body sway like a kelp in the sea, like a reed in the water, like an anemone with tentacles being taken. And you give yourself to it. You're not doing anything with it. Remember, the finger soft and the hand is open. We don't grasp around it. We don't control it. We don't close into love. But we let love open in me even deeper, And so the heart is like a yoni, soft, endlessly open. And don't be shy to gyrate your hips and let your genital touch the pillow, the couch, the chair, wherever you are sitting. So that we really arouse the genital. There is no problem. It's not less spiritual because you get horny. Bring your sexual arousal through the body into the space of the heart. Penetrate your own heart. So the mouth also is open, relaxed. Make sure your lips are wet, like a wet sex. You can use your tongue to wet your lips and taste yourself. The flavor in your mouth. Remember last week I spoke about the goddess Shakti as she who darts her tongue into space. So try this, even if you think it looks silly, who cares? Everybody's got their eye closed. No one is looking at you because we are all so busy looking inside at the wonderment of my own experience. So dart your tongue into space like a snake, sensing the temperature of this moment, the humidity, the flavor of this conscious moment kissing you. And see what it does to your heart when you dare to bring of yourself into the meeting with reality, outside of you. See what happened in the inside of you. Allow this lingam that is penetrating you to start expressing luminous awareness into every single cell in your body. Every single cell is quivering luminous awareness, whatever that means for you. Imagine it. The power of imagination. And dare to raise your hand perhaps a little bit above your shoulder, around your head. Really open the heart. Remember, this is a very important position for the Tandava. Opening the heart, front of the chest, drop your head backward, relax your shoulder, bring your hand behind, a little bit behind your shoulder, vulnerable, available, offering your life to this moment. This is the biggest act of devotion. So the mystical tantrics are absolutely devoted to love as the essence of reality, as the truth that governs the natural law of the universe. I offer my life, I offer my sex, my heart, my mouth. May I speak your truth. May I know love as a texture in my body. May I know love into the membrane of my being, my bones, my muscle, not as a concept, but as an experience. May I offer my sex and my sexuality in service to love. May I offer my sex as a devotional tool for my heart to express into the world. May I offer my spoken words, my tongue, to the movement of my heart, to the wisdom of my heart. May I be courageous to speak my heart as an offering to truth. You can repeat any of these sentences. You can make your own act of devotion. You can speak your prayer. Let the body sing its prayer to the divine, to the mystery. Fascinating wonderment, the feeling of awe. Drop in awe of the magnificence of your own heart, the ability your heart has to contain everything, your darkest secrets, your deepest sorrow, your ecstatic joy. Everything and everyone in your heart. There is space for everyone. Perhaps you can do this little exercise and place in your heart the people you are in conflict with at this moment, and dance the Tandava of love and compassionate wisdom with them, not for them, with them, in your heart. Because they are you, ultimate. And whatever conflict they represent, they reflect a conflict within you. So open the heart to that too. And if you feel ready, you can stand up and expand into this dance. Give more of yourself. Let the dance really take up everything in your being. Soften the knees, ground the feet. Relax the perineum. Relax the belly, let it support the expansion of your heart. A soft, spacious belly. Relax your glutes, your shoulder. And keep moving in the quiet space of your being. If you're practicing to keep this dance alive even in the silence, listening to the sound of the space, the sound of your expanding heart, the sound of your sex penetrate your heart. And I'm going to play you a song dedicated to your own love, your own heart. Dedicate these songs to the falling in love as yourself, falling in love with yourself, and even more so, falling into the texture of love, this falling in love when you fall back and space is catching you. You are falling into the fabric of reality, and she will always catches you and support you, as if she has two hands on the back of your lung, supporting the back of your rib cage, helping you to open even more into the expansion of love that sometimes feels like pain and sorrow. When we love a lot, we feel pain. It's like we say, the heart is aching, my heart is aching. So let the texture of reality, love itself, to support behind you and catch you and soften, nourish your aching. As you fall in love with yourself, dedicate your song to you. And I would really invite you to stand up, so you're showing up for yourself. This is how much you matter. This is a declaration of love.
The world was on fire, no one could save me but you. And strange desire will make foolish people do.
Deep breath, and you can
I
sing.
never dreamed that I need somebody like you. I never dreamed that I miss somebody like you. And I wanna fall in love.
Fall, fall, fall.
And I wanna fall in love
Fall deeper
with you.
with yourself.
With you. What a wicked game you play. Make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do. Make me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say. Never felt that way. What a wicked thing to do. Make me dream of you. And I wanna fall in love. And I wanna fall in love with you. With you. The world And it's strange what desire make foolish people do. But I never dreamed I'd be somebody like you. And I never dreamed I'd miss somebody like you. And I fall in love. And I fall in love. And wanna fall in love with you. With you. Nobody knows no one.
Stay with yourself. And in the next song, I want to invite some body touch. That this is your body, honor your body. Place your hand on your body, finding this vast space at the tip of your finger, the vast space inside your body. And maybe in the point of contact of the tip of your finger and your own body, there is a portal to infinity where more vastness starts. Is a place where you can enter the cosmos in the point of contact with your density. This is another beautiful paradox of Tantra and is real. Maybe you find it, that will be a real experience for you. And take these 3 minutes to really honor this organism, living, breathing organism of consciousness. Without your body, there'll be no spiritual practice. There's no speaking about God. Find God in the flesh. And don't forget to touch your genitals. Include them. Your mouth, your face, your lips, everything included. Everything sacred. And then stop. Suddenly stop. Standing, sitting. And feel yourself. Maybe this word self right now means something completely different than it was before. What is self? Feel yourself with a capital S. The Buddhists say self is everywhere, and self is intrinsically empty. And the Tantrics say self is a quivering, is a sacred tremor. That exists in everything that exists. For some of you, if you can feel the tremoring, just know there is the same tremoring inside the tree, the animal, the fire, the floor, the wall of your house. Everything is sacred tremoring. And that's what we mean when we say find yourself in everything. Know yourself as everything. And knowing is an activity of the body. True knowing is of the body. The mind understands. But true knowing, it's an experience of the body that then informs the mind. True heart knowing. So I want to end this session today with a prayer. And you can pray to whatever is real for you right now. Maybe you've discovered something about the connection of your sex and your heart and your mouth, relationship between love and truth, love and space, a relationship between truth and consciousness, a relationship between your body and the body of consciousness. And to anchor a pearl, you can take the next 2 minutes to let a prayer to arise that is feel really true for you in this moment, and what you want in your life, your true heart desire.
Vadalu Guru Padma Shri Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnapanurmadurchate Purnasya Purnamadahiyo Purnamidavashishati Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Deep breath into your physical body right here, right now. This body that has the memory of infinity, this body that has the memory of expansion, this body that has the texture of an expanded heart penetrated by luminous awareness. It's right here, right now. When you feel ready with your next exhale, just open the eyes and look around your room, look into space, and see that you can maintain this knowing in the body as you meet space. That you don't let the outer reality be more important than the inner reality. You don't let it to take up more space, but meet it as equal, as much as within is without. So that you meet this room and this moment with the fullness of your inner knowing. The space in your body, the space in your cells, your awakened sexuality devoted to the heart. And the heart, your human heart, devoted to the heart of reality. So the Tandava is ultimately a practice of devotion. I hope you get a texture of the quality of being devoted to the mystery. the space that surrounds us at all time. And it's also me doing me. So if you like, if you feel moved to, you can write down your prayer so that you are anchoring a piece of devotion for yourself. And we are almost to the end. This beautiful cosmic lovemaking. That's why they say Tantrika always look drunk. And in reality, we are always drunk of our own nectar, the nectar of our own heart. We are always making love with ourselves, and we're full of erotic ecstasy. And you know, when you're in love, you look a little bit drunk and dizzy. We actually really grounded into the erotic expression of the world. We are so present into it that we look, what's the word? Intoxicated. The tantric texts use this word a lot. Intoxicated by your own nectar. There is a word in Sanskrit that translates wonderstruck by the nectar of your true self. I'm gonna write it because it's so beautiful. Wonderstruck by the nectar of your true self. So Ita wrote a message, I want to learn way how to devote to the mystery and the unknown. You are learning it, you are doing it. Change your language. You are learning way to devote yourself. This is the practice. Your life then becomes an act of devotion to the mystery, your whole life. Your sexuality, your lovemaking, your conflict, everything becomes a practice of devotion to life itself, to the essence of life itself. Your small doing actually are offerings to the greater force of life. You see, we end where we begin, the triangle. In the polarity, we serving the creator of the polarity. Is never separated. By giving yourself into life, you make your activity an act of devotion to the creator of life. Anybody wants to say anything? I'm happy to spend a few more minutes. It's 8:30 on the dot. We can have 5 more minutes. You can unmute yourself and just, if you feel inspired or moved or you want to share your prayer. Or how does your body feel right now? What's the texture of your body? What's the quality of being in your body right now?
I feel layers upon layers of densities and spaciousness. And these tremors you speak of, could you elaborate a little bit? Because through the practice, I feel these tremors. And it also happens during deep relaxation. And then you mentioned the tremors are in the trees. You spoke a bit to them. Is it coming? Is it from the heart? It's
the tremoring of reality. The tradition called it Spanda. Last week I spoke about a text called the Spanda Karika, and it's very difficult to describe. And again, here we can get lost in words and jinx the experience if I use too many words and the wrong words maybe. And you think, oh, is this? No, it isn't. So in the text they say it feels like fluttering of the wings of a moth, almost. Some people sometimes describe it as 1,000 ants crawling on your skin. For me, I'm feeling it is very alive in me right now as I'm talking to you, so I don't look like I'm tremoring. I want to make this very, very clear, that this tremoring we speak about, the spanda, it's invisible to the eye. So it's not the tremoring
Not the shake, no.
like this. This also can come sometimes. This is a release.
But
And
it's like
the-
that
this,
like you mentioned with that what was it?
ejaculation.
Ejaculation, that kind of tremor feeling, right?
Yes.
So inside,
It's
yeah.
like this when you make love. I don't know if it ever happened to you, and you just both have a physical orgasm, and then you drop into stillness. And there is a quivering, there is so much energy moving, but the body are so still. So it's like we go through all the motions. So sometimes the jolt happen because there is something in the way of this sacred tremoring, of the quivering. So whatever in the way needs to be shaken off. And if you want sex, it's a whole act of de-armoring. I mean, we have sex to de-armor, to get all the energy out, to move the body and shake the emotion, so that then we can get to that place where we can be absolutely still and the true movement of self start to be felt. So for me it's like more like a pulsation. It's like oomph, oomph. It's like oomph. It's warm. It's like yeah, I can't say more about it. It's very subtle. The more you chase it, the more you miss it. And if you really close your eyes and you drop in, it's comforting also. It's a place that catches you.
Home into yourself, yeah, the
Yeah,
hold
can
and
be,
without hold and so much.
yeah.
Mm.
And it feels it comes from a very deep place inside, but it's also just there underneath the skin. So I feel it right now in my coccyx, for example, in my whole spine, just underneath the skin of my whole body. But it doesn't come from there, it comes from a deeper place. I don't know, the mystery, the infinite depth of the self. So I really appreciate your inquiries. It makes this practice real and we move in together.
Yeah, I can always share, but I wait for other people if they want to take the stage. And apparently no one is sharing. So I had this moment where I want to share a bit of my experience where you were guiding us through this penetration through the heart. I just burst into tears and I'm like asking my body, why are you crying? Because I'm not feeling anything. And then the answer was, I'm crying because the love you long so much for outside is just within you. Like 1, 2, 3, you just activated. And I was having this conversation with myself where a part was saying to the other part, you, but you also help us to activate it. So there was this meeting with myself that the bigger actually my masculine grows, the more it can hold my feminine as I go through my movement and all. And that was, yeah, as you were saying earlier, it's not really easy to put these things into words, but I'm just trying.
I'm crying too.
Yeah.
What I want to say to you, because you're asking me, so let go of this masculine and feminine. I feel it's another way to split the essence of ourself. You know, and a lot of Neo-Tantra, I know these are big conversation, and they happen a lot. And I found we go with the mind to dissect the body. What is masculine? What is feminine? If I develop my masculine, my feminine, it's all of it. You are everything. And the essence is that when you open your heart, your tears are like the wall of a dam. You know, when you confine your heart, when you break those walls of the heart, the water flow. So tears often come in this practice. I cry a lot through the Tandav, and I cry a lot when I make love too, because when the heart stretch open, then your tears are the movement of release. And so there is more capacity. And so your tears are just a physical expression of an energetic expansion. That's all. So it's really good. And also tear lubricates the body. We like the tear. We like to be lubricated and supple. So like sexual fluid, tears, it's also a sexual fluid. It's there to lubricate. And we went into a practice, is an erotic practice. We went into a practice of spiritual eroticism, of like energetic penetration. And so your heart really expanded, and the tears represented, lubricated the expansion. It's like when the yoni open and expand, we get wet. We want to lubricate the expansion, so we expand with nourishment. We don't hurt, we don't rip. It's the same things. So now you supported your body, the natural wisdom of your body supported this natural expansion in a way that your heart doesn't rip. Sometimes when we go through hard moment, we say this word, my heart ripped apart. And those are hard heartbreak to recover from. But now we went through a heartbreak, the heart broke open, and tear and movement and lubrication allowed us not to have to recover from this expansion of the heart.
Thank you so much. And now that you speak of lubricant, I remember that when you gave this practice of sticking our tongues out, I immediately felt my yoni was lubricated too, and lubricated. And I find it so magical, because for years I'm hearing the mouth and the roof of the mouth and this connection with yoni, but never felt it so quickly. And like 1, 2, 3, this was relaxed and the other one was relaxed. It was wonderful. Thank you so much. I love you.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing. I love hear you speak. Thank you, Rita. And I mean, if anybody needs to go, you can go. The session is officially over. But I like to stay with you a little longer. I see if you're staying. We stay together. But you can go. I think the session is done. Okay, if anybody wants to drop in now, do it, or we all gonna go. If there's any reflection or any sharing, we love to hear you. Okay, beautiful. Empty mind, open heart. I hope you have a wonderful night. Sleep well. With ecstatic dreaming. All right. Mwah.